Good morning, Mama S here, and today's blog post number 39, Are We an Adoptive Resource? And this one is a little bit hard to talk about with the place that we're at right now. This blog post was written in June 13th, and we're currently in August, and I'm sad to say that we still haven't committed one way or another. So the caseworker came to our house, sat down, and said, okay, the case is looking like it is heading towards terminating parental rights. Are you an adoptive resource? We're looking for permanency, and we're looking to see what direction this is going. This is in no way a surprise to any of the members of the family. Everyone has been told, everyone's been sat down and had this conversation with them, and pretty much we were the last people to talk to, and they said, okay, like, are you an adoptive resource? And Mama A and I just went, okay, like, let's think about this. And I was very politically correct and said, at this point we cannot make a commitment. There are a number of doctor's appointments that we have coming up, and we're currently with intensive in-home therapy, and we've got a couple of things to work on, so we are not able to commit today. However, we are likely an adoptive resource pending the results of a doctor's appointment. One of our workers is like, you should be a politician because you said a lot of words without saying anything. And it's absolutely true. Whenever I talk to anybody about the fact that they've asked us if we're an adoptive resource and we haven't like jumped out of our chair and said, absolutely, of course we are, people are very surprised. Oh, excuse me. People are very surprised, and they're like, well, of course you're going to adopt. She's lived with you for a year, and you know, what else would you do? And if you are a foster parent and you've gotten to this point, you know that that's not the whole story. There are a number of things at play, and I'm going to talk through a couple of them. So the first one was Mama A and I could not commit to adopting Precocious without having a conversation with Precocious. She is of the age where this is a conversation that needed to happen, and we had talked about it a couple of times over the months leading up to it because we knew that this was coming. And in the moment, she's always like, well, if no one in my biological family will adopt me, then yeah, I guess. Yeah, like, let's adopt me tomorrow. But then after she thinks about it for a little bit, you know, it's more along the lines of, well, I don't know if I want to be adopted, and I don't know it because that means that my parents can never get me back. And that is a deeply emotional topic, and it is something that is extremely sensitive, and it's something that we have to be sensitive to. And so that was one thing. The second thing is, once we adopt, everybody goes away. All of our workers, and we do get another set of people that we can go to, but you get a lot less support. And while things at home are great for Precocious, and she's doing a wonderful job, and she's a beautiful child, and, you know, we absolutely love her, that doesn't erase the behavioral challenges that we have, and we are just leading into the preteen and ultimately teenage years, and we're like, we don't know what's going to happen, and we don't know what's going to happen, so we're like, we don't know if we're equipped to handle this on our own. So we're just a little bit nervous. And thirdly, you don't commit to marrying somebody over one conversation if you haven't been having conversations about what the rest of your life is. Now, maybe you do, but Mama A and I don't. And we talk about things, and we plan for things, and we analyze things, and we really talk about it. and that's something that we really needed to do, and that's something that we have been doing. And honestly, over these last couple of months, we've been every couple of weeks having a conversation with Precocious about, what does she want to have happen. Now, we went to visit her biological family a couple weeks ago, and her biological grandma, her biological aunts, her biological great-grandma, her biological cousins, they were all like, we've never seen her happier. We've never seen her more content. We've never seen her kinder. She had an anger about her, a meanness about her when she came to live with us. They're like, you don't see that anymore. I think we really hope that she gets to stay with you. And we talked about that on the way home, and we talked about her biological parents, and that her mom said that she would like Precocious to live with us. Obviously, she'd love to get her back, but she recognizes that with the series of circumstances that are happening, and the court's not going to wait indefinitely, that she would like her to live with us. And we talked about her biological dad and his feelings, and everything that he told the worker. And we talked about her feelings, and she said, well, yeah, I want you to adopt me, and what would my name be? And she jumped into this huge conversation, and I said, we don't have to decide this today. Like, we can just talk about it today, and we can kind of go from there, because the adoption process, depending upon if her biological dad fights the process, this could take us a number of years. And when I told her that, she's like, well, why? Like, can't you just adopt me tomorrow? And I said, no, we can't. Because if we do decide that we're going to adopt her, we have to go through terminating parental rights and best interest, and then there are any number of appeals that can happen, and we just don't know. Now, the other part, and I know this is getting a little long, and I'm sorry for all the rambling, but the other part that's huge is everybody thinks that adoption is just this exciting thing. It's just the most amazing because it's giving the child their forever home. And I don't want to discount that. It is. It's beautiful to be able to give a child a forever home that they've bonded with and they've connected with. But to look at that beauty and that excitement and ignore the trauma and devastation that is also happening at the same time, because what's happening is you're severing the, at least legal, ties to a biological family. And that is devastating, and that is heart-wrenching, and that is emotional, and that is just a very hard thing to look at, and it's a hard thing to know, because like I said, we love this biological family, and there were a number of points throughout the case where we didn't think that Precocious would be being adopted by us. We thought that she would be going in a different direction, and so we want to make sure that everybody is fully ready for adoption, because it is a legal process and it is permanent. And we also need to make sure that we are set up and ready to handle the emotional aspects of what that feels like when her legal ties to her biological family are severed, if that's ultimately the direction that we go. Now, that being said, if we don't decide to adopt, they'll actually have to find her a different home, because the court is moving towards terminating parental rights, and that's devastating in its own regard. So it's a lot for us to think about. And so when you're talking to a foster family and you hear that the conversation is adoption and they are not resoundingly jumping up and down and saying, yes, this is so exciting, this is everything that we wanted, recognize that they may be feeling some of these other emotions and some of these other things and some of these other thoughts. And, maybe take them out to coffee and have a conversation and really listen. Don't say anything, don't make any comments, just really listen to what's going on with them, because it's absolutely a very, very big decision. So thank you very much for watching. If you're enjoying, please let me know in the comments section. As always, please subscribe and please share. Thank you.